Welcome to today's edition of Extra Mile. Such a joy to be back. Last week I began a new series I titled Lifestyle Leadership. How that leadership is more of what we do, who we are, than what we say. Every time you look at a situation, the response system, the character attribute of a people, it tells you something about the virtues and the values that have been passed on to them. Because people will always become that which is the dominant influence over their lives. When I study the scriptures, I see Jesus. In one instance, he had preached for 3 days, and the people that were with him were hungry. And he said to his disciples, "Get them something to eat." And the disciples said, "From whence shall we get enough bread in the wilderness to feed them?" And Jesus' instruction was, "See to it." So the Bible then goes on to tell us that we do not have an high priest who cannot but be touched by the feeling of our infirmities. That was the culture, that was the lifestyle, that was the standard that Jesus set for his disciples. So by the time he was out of the scene, it became a natural response system. It became a pattern for the people to be able to sell what they had to take care of the needy. It's called lifestyle leadership. When you study the Bible, in the book of Acts chapter 4 and verse 13, the Bible is speaking about Peter and John, that when the people saw the boldness of Peter and John, they took knowledge of them that they had been with Jesus. They observed that there was something about these people that made them look like the one who led them, who inspired them, who mentored them, who influenced them. Because the moment the people do not represent who you are, it shows a major failing in the place of leadership. In 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 15, another very profound example was also spoken about in the scripture about Elisha and his mentor Elijah. It was the sons of the prophet, his colleagues, who saw him and said, "Wow, the spirit of Elijah doth rest on Elisha." That's the pattern of scriptures. It's always been the pattern of scripture. So when you get to the Bible in the book of Numbers chapter 11 and verse 17, God said to Moses, "I will take of the spirit that is on you and I will put it upon these people that are around you, in order for them to be able to bear the burdens of the people with you." Here's where I'm going with all of this. In our nation, I see a lot of things that speaks volumes about the quality of leadership. We live in a nation, for instance, where you have a number of people who worked and served this nation for 30-something years, and their pensions are being denied. We have states of this country where there are people who work 1 year, 6 months, and their salaries are denied, are not being paid. And those in leadership have no scruples about it. They are not bothered. It is no longer a surprise that down the line, when you see people engaged in violent crime, they are wicked, they are mean, they are ready to kill. They have no scruples about any people, because the character, the virtue, the leadership pattern that has been passed on to them is that of recklessness, is that of carelessness, is that of non-concern, is that of nonchalance, is that of meanness. So they replicate the same thing. When you have a leadership that can go to bed unperturbed by the challenges, by the need of the society, no matter how many people are living in squalor, how many people are dying, and nothing happens. We live in a nation where people die and nothing happens. What do you expect? By way of the response system of the people. Leadership is always more about what we do than what we say. I'll be back. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today on Extra Mile. We'd love to hear from you as you comment on any of our social media platforms. Please feel free to share your Extra Mile testimonies and how God is impacting your life with us. We look forward to seeing you next time on Extra Mile.